Here's some mental breakdowns.
She's the star. Told you. She's a star this
Here's
week.
the mental breakdowns. All right.
Welcome to It's Giving Sleuths, the podcast where the line between the intriguing and the unsettling is blurred. Every episode, we dive deep into the world of true crime and scandals, bringing you the most suspicious and jaw-dropping stories from around the world. There's so much crazy stuff going on, and we need to talk about all of it. Bizarre happenings, scams, cults, crimes, or controversial figures, we're here to dissect it all. Nothing is off limits. Join us as we unpack and comprehend this episode's story. And remember, if it's giving sus, stay curious and stay skeptical.
Warning. This episode contains discussion of extremely sensitive topics. Please check the show notes for more details before proceeding. We ask that you please take caution when listening. If you or someone you know is in need of resources, please check the episode notes for more information. Thank you for listening.
Welcome back to another episode of It's Giving Sus, the podcast where sometimes we find some really odd stuff in these documentaries.
Yeah, this one was odd.
You have some feelings about it.
I do. It's weird.
Meg's been ready for this episode. That's my co-host, Meg. I'm
Meg
Danny
West.
Era. Welcome to this podcast where the line between the intriguing and the unsettling is blurred. Every Monday, it's blurred.
It's blur.
Yeah, it's out there. And this week, same thing, nothing less. And Meg took so many notes because I think this was her favorite documentary of all time. And she's gonna lead the episode with
All my notes.
with her feelings.
Yeah. More feelings than notes, maybe. Who knows?
But you are very passionate about this. So let us know what we're going to be talking about today. And I guess we'll kiss ass. Well, I guess
We can kiss ass.
God damn it, this is not going good so far. Can kind of get into the details and let us know how you feel about everything.
Okay. This is They Called Him Mostly Harmless. It is on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
It's about an hour and a half, little hour and a halfer. Like we said, we love these. Someone comes across a body in Cypress National Reserve in Southwest Florida. July 23rd, 2018. A man's body was found in just a tent on the trail. He was found looking like he was like kind of trying to climb out. And he was very, very emaciated. That was like the first thing that the people who called 911 noticed about him was just that he looked like a skeleton.
I think they said he was 85 pounds when they found him.
That's nothing. A feather blowing in the wind.
Like my dog weighs 25 pounds more than that for scale.
So I think with him was found very little. The things he'd been traveling with in his backpack: food, cash, nothing, no sort of ID, nothing, personal belongings that kind of gave any sort of indication of who he was. He had these weird notebooks of just code. And they were like, okay, like what the fuck is this? Is some weird psycho, like manic coding? Is it tech coding? They didn't know at first. So that's initially what they found.
And these are like handwritten notes in like a journal, right?
Yeah.
And it's like numbers and like symbols and stuff. Like, I don't know. I've heard about people like go on a sick meth binge and then they like think that they like cracked like some code to find out this like universe shit. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they like the Da Vinci Code or the code of life. Like, I don't know. Could have been.
Yeah. I mean, madmen go on ramblings and write crazy shit down all the time, right? I mean, we found in all these cases with crazy shit.
If someone got my journal, there might be some codes and scribbles in there. So
you never know what's in there.
You never know what's going on.
They might peg me as a psycho. Who knows?
Hopefully no one pegs you.
Hopefully.
All right.
just flying under the radar. Hopefully no one pegs me. Please don't. Woo.
So they find the code and he doesn't have ID. He doesn't have, like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
He's 85 pounds. He's crawling out of the tent. He's in this campsite area.
With food in his bag.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they found food in his bag. So that's why they were like, how is this man starved?
Also, the truck stop was 5 miles away. So they were saying that, like, people could actually, like, if he really wanted, like, or needed help, he could have probably gotten to this 5 miles away situation.
Yeah, so he definitely had resources around him. And I guess the trail that he was traveling on is a very well-known trail. It's called the Appalachian Trail. And it goes from, I'm pretty sure, like Maine, New York area all the way down to Florida. Eventually, we come to find out that this man was traveling almost the whole way, which is fucking insane.
That is insane.
I can't remember how many miles it was, but
thousands or
yeah,
1,000.
literally thousands. Yeah. But it's still like walking. Fuck, dude.
Hiking, not just walking. This isn't Forrest Gump. He's off-roading.
Yeah.
Like there's hills and animals and like the element.
He's not running on the concrete highway and with his smiley face t-shirt.
No,
you know?
this is off-road. I've heard that like people have told me this. No, they haven't. In the documentary, they were saying that like some parts of this trail are like so intense. You have to be like extremely experienced and then also like fully set out like I have to accomplish this or I'm gonna die out here.
Yeah.
They compared it to like you like walk like a block a day and then you're just jumping into running the Boston Marathon.
Yeah.
Like it's like the big boy trail.
When they did the autopsy, there was no trauma, no injuries, no diseases prevalent, no drugs in his system. The only thing that was found was Tylenol, and Tylenol stays in your system for up to 72 hours.
Right.
So they had an idea that within those past 72 hours before he died, he was at least conscious enough and in the mind enough to take a Tylenol.
And alive.
And alive. It's just crazy that you go from taking a Tylenol and then you're like that emaciated. I don't know. It's all really weird. No DNA, no fingerprints or dental records.
Right. Does that mean he's never gone to the dentist?
I don't even know what any of that means, honestly. When they say that, it's like, are my fingerprints in this? Like, how do we get?
Mine are.
I mean, mine are too.
That's how.
Okay, never mind. Answer my own
But
question.
the DNA part,
yeah.
like, unless you were a criminal and got swabbed. I mean, I got swabbed in my cheek and they like send it in to make sure your meds are like the good meds for you. It's called GeneSight. It's hopefully they sponsor us one day because wow, it really shows you like what medications work for you and stuff instead of like trying to try all of them and the whole thing. So I guess they would have my DNA there.
Yeah, I think they're like working with these companies like 23andMe,
Yeah.
and they're starting to work together to
Yeah.
get DNA profiles of people.
I've never done a 23andMe. I don't need to know.
No.
The ones I do know are enough. I don't need to
We don't-
branch out.
No, we're good.
We're good.
Yeah.
So no DNA,
No
no
fin-
dental records,
Yep.
and no fingerprints,
Mm-hmm.
no ID, nothing.
Nothing.
Who is this man?
Yeah, a ghost. The police make a composite sketch of this man, and they're having a hard time doing it just because of how emaciated he is. So they kind of put a little bit of weight on him and kind of like make him maybe look a little more not
dead.
skeletal.
Yeah.
You know? So, and they just start posting it on all these hiking Facebook groups. Dude, these hiking Facebook groups are fucking insane.
Bro, the hikers took this like the Olympics.
Oh my God. They were cracking the Da Vinci Code, dog.
They were literally onto some shit.
Yeah.
And I am, you know what I do in my free time. They outshine me.
Dude, that one woman was like you later on in life. The crazy one.
Okay.
Not the
Thank you.
no, not the crazy one, but she was like the crazy. She was like helping people identify faces to missing people, and she was like on her shit on the computer.
I got
She
two
had-
screens
She
now.
had
dog.
the phone calls going, dude. She was set. That's
She
you.
was hacking.
Yeah, she was hacking it up, dude.
Yeah. So they posted to Facebook
Yep.
to try and get like some information. Like if anyone has seen this guy on the trail, they put out this sketch, which someone in the documentary said it, not me. It looks like the caveman from Geico.
They literally said that.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
It kind of did.
It does.
Like, it's a good description. But like, hey, do you know this guy? He looks like the caveman from Geico. Like, what? Like, no, dude, I don't.
One woman eventually recognizes him, and I guess like Plur in a rave community, there's trail.
Where are we going?
There's trail angels.
Yes.
Yes, and they do. Where are we going?
Where are we going?
Okay. But no, they're called trail angels, and they do like random acts of kindness for other people on the trail. I was like, oh, that's so nice. So like offer water, say it looks like someone's struggling, help them out, food, like little things like that, little acts of kindness. This woman recognized him like 6 months prior to him dying, said that she just kind of, I think, gave him like some water, just something really random like that. And it was just really like, honestly, just an in passing acquaintance, and just had a little conversation.
Yeah.
People on the trail had nicknames, and he called himself Mostly Harmless, and that's how he introduced himself to this woman.
Have you ever had a rave nickname?
No.
Me either.
Thank God. I don't know if I want one.
Rainbow flower?
Yeah, that's a good one for you.
That's for you.
Oh, that's for me? I don't know about that.
What's mine?
Pretty in pink.
That's
Pink princess.
all right. All right.
Pink bubbles.
Okay.
Bubblegum princess.
Okay. Where are we going?
I don't know, dog.
We're going to the Appalachian Trail.
You asked me the wrong question.
We're on the Appalachian Trail today, everybody. Just buckle up. So they have these trail angels, and they're just kind of like little buddies, and it's like a buddy system, or not even. It's just people looking out for one another, mutual respect of like who's on the trail.
Hey, you're a hiker. I'm a hiker. We're just doing this shit.
We're just hiking.
Yeah, we're just vibing. Nature.
Whatever.
He introduces himself as mostly harmless at this point. He did not carry a phone, which she thought initially was odd too, because like most people, what the fuck if something happens? What if you break your leg? What if you hurt yourself, need water, whatever, you know? So she was like, he didn't even carry a phone.
And he said he really wanted to disconnect.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, okay.
Okay.
Was this Magpie?
Yes.
Love her.
Yes, she was a darling.
Yes. So Magpie was her
But she ends up
trail
pissing
name.
me off.
And I think everyone does eventually.
Yeah.
So Magpie was the trail angel, and that's her trail name. And she kind of makes a little connection with this guy who says his name is Mostly Harmless.
She ended up taking a picture with him. And then she goes and turns and posts the picture on these groups where they initially posted the picture of him. Do you know this man? Whatever. I think he said like 25 more people came forward knowing this man. And they started kind of piecing together places and times where he was meeting people. And so all these people along the trail that he had like kind of run into had a little story. So they put it together where he started and kind of where he ended up.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how they pieced together like where he moved from.
Right.
And like the timeline.
The trail of the trail.
Yeah, the trail of the trail. It was weird too because Magpie even says like when he first started hiking, I guess his nickname was first denim, like jeans, because everyone thought it was weird. This man is like hiking in jeans. You said it's a crazy trail. Like you have to be experienced. You don't just fucking go out. Well, it looks like this man just decided to just whatever he was wearing that day, go on the trail. And people are like, what the fuck?
You need like waterproof, like snag proof, like more tactical kind of gear. Like no one's going out in just some Levi's.
Imagine going to run the Boston Marathon in jeans.
Could never. Naked jeans or shorts is never going to be me.
No, never. But
couldn't imagine it.
Any sort of just physical activity in jeans.
Well, hiking. I mean, you're more of a hiker than me. I don't really go outside a lot.
I wouldn't call myself a hiker. I just walk my dog.
Oh, well, it's hiking to me.
Okay.
I'm like, Meg's just like adventurous. Like, I don't know.
I'm a beginner walker. That's what I would call myself.
But do you wear jeans?
Absolutely fucking not. At least I have that, you know?
Yeah. So they call him denim,
Mm-hmm.
which is probably giving him a little shit. Like, why are you wearing jeans out here, boy? Like, I don't know. That's what I envisioned.
And I guess they comment on his backpack too at the time because he had like so much shit in his backpack. And he had like winter clothes and people are like, why are you hiking with, first of all, jeans on? You need a set of winter clothes. It's fucking summertime.
In Florida.
It's July. When was he found? July.
In Florida.
Like, and then carrying a bunch of stuff unnecessarily and just a heavy backpack, jeans. So people were like,
but no phone.
No phone.
No ID.
Yeah. People were like, what the fuck is this dude doing? So he kind of raised some weird, like, people are like, okay. But then I think even someone comments, they're like, we've seen something like this before. So we didn't think it was like that crazy.
Like, no, I wouldn't really think twice. I'm not a hiker. But if I see a guy with he's just hiking, dog.
He's just doing his thing.
Like, he's Forrest Gumping all the way to Florida. Like, I don't know, man. You know?
So eventually a local podcaster, she does like true crime podcasts in the area of Florida in that like Southwest region, does a podcast episode on it, shows pictures, brings everything to light, and that gives the case more attention. Then we start figuring out who this man was prior. We start putting it together at this point because now people that have known him personally, I know this man, and we start to figure out his name, we start to figure out his identity, we start to figure out where the tech came into play.
Before we found that out, though, I do want to acknowledge the insanity of the online sleuthing. And like, I am one, like, I identify, you know, like, but they took it to a level that I wouldn't take it to.
Yeah. What was her name? Christy? We'll call her Sleuth. We'll call her Crazy Sleuth
number
woman.
1.
Yeah. So she lives in an extended motel. She's lived there for 9 years. And she just does her little internet sleuthing on, and her thing is her specialty, she said, was identifying missing persons.
And she's the one that's like a delivery driver by day.
Yeah, she's doing
like
something.
Laundromat. There was like, I don't know. There was a lot going on with her.
Yeah, and her sister lives with her. And then they showed like the clip of like her and her sister in the room. And her sister did not look like she was well. It was weird. It was very weird.
We don't judge.
No, we don't. We
just make observations.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that it was just a little
out.
Little
weird.
off. She starts to do her thing. She starts to look up coroner reports. No suspicion of foul play was found. The coroner report saw like a small abdominal scar. Some of the group started like going into like, oh, do you have cancer? Do you have surgery? Like, what could the scar be from? And, and like all these people started making the craziest stories.
And they would like put it, like take it to the point of like, he had cancer and it must have been this kind of cancer because that's how his body was positioned when he was found. Like the dots they were connecting were wild.
It was crazy. And the details that they were getting into, I was like, this is insane. Once the cancer thing took off, this fucking blew my mind, right? So everyone was convinced, oh, this man had cancer. Poor guy. He had surgery, right? They searched like, I guess it was like a thing for people like who have cancer to trail on the Appalachian Trail. It's like
make a wish.
Yeah, I guess. And
Yeah.
they're like, okay, we're gonna go do this. Sounds super fun, I guess. I don't know. These sleuths Google cancer and Appalachian Trail, and they come up with a blog. This man is blogging how he had cancer. He was like going through treatment, thought he was gonna die, so he started something, but he's blogging all of it. And they're like, it's him. It's this guy. No, he's like, I'm alive. Hi, I'm alive. Not me.
And then they're like, how do you know? How do we know? How do we know you're telling the truth?
Crazy. They're like, he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So they're like, no, you're the guy.
You're the guy.
And he's
100%.
like, I'm actually really not.
They're like harassing him, and to the point where he's like worried, like, are these people going to like show up at my work or like go to my daughter's dance recital because they're like pestering me because they believe that it's me. I'm just another guy who had cancer and did the trail. Like, I'm not dead.
I'm here.
It's me.
I'm not 83 pounds.
Right.
Right. Breathing.
Right.
So these crazies, yeah.
They went hard.
They did. So while this was happening, eventually the one group raised enough money to send his skeletal remains to get DNA tested. The company that they contracted or they like sent the remains to apparently can do stuff that like normal crime labs can't do. They can do more extensive DNA profiles. They can find even what region possibly that this man was from just based off his DNA.
Which is crazy.
So they eventually figure out that he's from New York area just based off his DNA. Meanwhile, this is happening and they're waiting for the results. The admin lady starts her own group because people were just had it with her shit.
This is in the extended stay motel.
Yes.
Sleuth number one gets kicked out.
Yes.
Of her little group.
Yes.
And starts her own.
Yes.
So they have an off branch of sleuth.
Yes. So sleuth number 2, that's Natasha. She steps up to the plate as the admin, and she's actually the one that raises the money for
in
all
the
of this.
first group.
Yes.
Hotel lady is kicked out.
Hotel
and
lady's
in her
own
new group.
and she has a bunch of her little crazy followers follow her to her group. She goes, "Hey, I solved it." And everyone's like, "What do you mean? You know who the guy is?" She's like, "Yeah." She draws with like, I don't know, maybe Photoshop, maybe a crayon. I'm not fucking sure.
It was literally a fucking crayon.
It was literally a crayon.
It was an actual crayon.
She draws a beard on a random man's yearbook photo that kind of maybe looks like him a little bit. And he goes, "Here he is. It's this man.
This is him.
This is him."
And I think there were some other things connecting, like a fake name that Mostly Harmless had used once when he signed into a camp.
Yes.
Because they were making you use a name. You couldn't use your trail name. So he put this other name. And then they like ran with that for a while and connected all these dots back to this guy, his yearbook photo in a crayon with a fake beard drawn on. It's him.
It's like squiggled, dude. It's the craziest shit.
It's honestly.
Can you put it up here? Like,
enter here.
No, but oh my God, I laughed so fucking hard. I was like, is this bitch for real? And then like on top of it, like,
I'm so offended you said I'm going to be that lady when I'm old.
I'm the hacker part. Just the hacker part.
She's not good. She drew a crayon.
But she's not good. But like,
I want to be good.
No, you're way better.
Okay, good.
But just like, dude, it just made me laugh. But like to have the balls, first of all, for like to use a tragedy like that, dude, I don't know. Like she had some screws this a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with her.
Poor. I hope
my
you
future
find.
self.
I hope you find peace.
So what did they find out from the DNA testing?
That he's from Louisiana.
They found that out from the DNA?
Yep.
Why? Because it like matches other people in Louisiana and they're like
Genetic markers, certain genetic markers.
like family, or like everyone from Louisiana is like has something in their genes.
Yes, something like that. Based off the region of which you're born in, and it's called like gene migration or something like that. And essentially like people in California have evolved to have certain things in their DNA because of where they live.
Is it just where you're born?
Yeah. You're going to have...
Oh, because you're born with your DNA. You're
Yes.
not like growing up and having more DNA.
Your DNA does not change. Yeah, we're evolved to handle different weather. Each region's developed to handle different allergies and environmental factors.
We're literally built different.
We are not the same.
Where were you born?
Ohio.
Oh, fuck. We're got that corn DNA,
We
dog.
are never getting rid of that hillbilly DNA. It's there, baby girl.
It's there for life.
Yeah.
But then what if like, okay, what if you're like, you have Ohio DNA and then you marry someone in California? Okay, whatever. You have a baby with someone from California with California DNA. What does the baby have?
Probably a mix. So this man's family must have been growing up in Louisiana.
Okay.
Because if he only has that certain genetic marker, because like
that.
if me and you had a baby, okay,
Science.
like it'd probably have genetic markers of the Midwest, and it'd probably have genetic markers from California.
Okay, so they could kind of
50,
see
50.
that.
Half of your DNA is from your mom, half of your DNA is from your dad.
What about two moms?
50-50.
All right. Okay, that makes sense though. I'm following. Thank you for the science lesson of the day. Honestly, that's fucking fascinating.
Yeah. Scientists to
Wild.
save us. Look at this.
Wild.
And my degree is finally coming into somewhat help.
For a true crime podcast, who would have thought? They now have this information and they're like, okay, Louisiana.
So now they buckle down in Louisiana. They start posting on hiker sites just on Louisiana. They focus very hard. I think they even post on just like random like missing person. They really start getting like hitting the ground hard from Louisiana because they're like, okay, he's from here. Someone ends up recognizing him, an ex-coworker. And then we find out his name is Vance Rodriguez. So we get an identity, and then after that we start to find out who this man was. And
for the record, he was none of the people that these people connected the dots to.
And he was a giant piece of shit. So like the whole time that everyone is like, this poor man, and and I knew the whole time that you don't ditch your identity and go off grid for no fucking reason. You're hiding from something, you're running from something, and you don't want people to know who you are. I knew it from the fucking jump. I was like, this man is not a good man. And all these hikers like, oh, we ran into him and he was just such a nice and charming individual, and he was just was so nice.
And then all of the people who didn't even know him, but they were getting involved with like the search and on the online stuff, they like had their whole fantasy and romance of this story.
Yeah.
Like they wanted some amazing ending to this thing. And this guy, when they did, like, no.
He must have been such a good guy. He must have worked in tech. He must have like been like, I'm like, where the fuck are you guys? I don't know. It's crazy the way that people ran with these stories and painted this man as like, we should feel sorry for him. Like, oh, he died that way? No, let's figure out who the fuck he is first, and then we feel sorry.
And you know what's crazy? Knowing what we know now, if those people knew that, they wouldn't search for him.
Mm-mm.
So maybe it's a good thing that they didn't know.
And his nickname is starting to look a little sus.
Kind of made sense.
Once you figured out who he was. Yeah.
Mostly harmless.
Mostly. So, after his name gets released, things start to come out about his personal life. When he grew up, he was abused by his father. And right before he goes on the trail, he breaks up with his girlfriend. Family didn't even know that he was missing. Last his family knew, he had moved to New York and haven't heard from him in years.
Right.
He was 41 years old. He left all of his identification and personal belongings in the apartment that he was renting with his girlfriend. And that's when they broke up, and that's when he left.
He did pay the rent for 6 months.
Yes, he did pay the rent prior to leaving as well.
Probably to give him time to like disappear. Because he was going from New York to Florida on the trail. You needed some time.
Yeah.
No, you can't be getting eviction notices. You've only been gone, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Like you need
You're
some
like
time.
a mile down the road, dog.
Yeah,
You know? Like,
literally.
you need a little more space than that.
So that kind of checked out for me.
Yeah. And then his girlfriend comes out and says that he was very abusive, emotionally, physically, mentally. And then 3 other women come forward and say this man was not a good man. He was abusive. And you know what? Internet sleuth number one?
The hotel girl?
Yes.
Me in the future?
Yes.
What'd she do?
She goes, I can't say for sure if all these women were abused or not. So I just think he's a good man.
And let's get this straight. She'd never been on the trail.
You don't even know this person.
Magpie was really the only one who knew him.
Yeah.
Like, not even knew him, though, but had more of a in-person situation with him more than others.
Yeah. And there's a couple other hikers that I think they said they ran into him multiple times. There's like a picture of like him and Magpie and like 2 other hikers at like a diner having a nice time.
But he wouldn't get that close because he spent like one like day with a guy he met up with on the trail, and then they like went their separate ways, and he didn't want to stay connected is what the other hiker said. So he didn't really he didn't want to get close.
Mm-hmm.
So for this lady who she'd never been hiking, where's she live?
I think in Florida, but who knows?
Safe guess.
Yeah.
Never met him, never hiked, never, just in her hotel with her sister. She's gonna die on that hill that he was a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am.
Crazy.
I feel like it's like some psychology term or something probably that like when people have to like, when you fight so hard for something and then you find out like it's true or it's not, like the confirmation bias maybe, then you like double down because you wasted all your time, your effort, your energy, and then you find out this stuff and you're like, no, like physically or internally you can't let that be true because it goes against everything that you were fighting for 2 years. Wow, my meds are working today. I'm gonna pass it back to you.
Okay, well, I love that. And then it comes out that he's like always been kind of struggling with mental health. He would shut himself like down, stop taking care of himself. But now we come to find out that at 16 years old, he shot himself in the abdomen, changed his mind, dragged himself out of, I think, like a field or wherever he did it from, and got help. So that's where his scar was from. Not from some cancer and some
tragedy
some
of the hero, of the guy who saved the baby from the build. No, dude.
Yeah.
No. He tried to unalive.
Yeah. Nothing glamorous like baby saving or,
cancer.
Yeah. His parents tried to get him help and he didn't want it. And I think that's kind of when they separated. He stopped talking to his family.
And he got emancipated at 17.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people were speculating that it was because they wanted him to like get help. And he was like, no.
Which fair. I mean, he shot himself in the stomach. I probably would want to get my kid help.
Yeah. And then he doesn't treat his shit and then goes on to continue this cycle of alleged abuse to these women. Hurt people. It's
crazy too, because I think this like documentary just pissed me off so much because you really don't find out why he died or why he was in the condition that he was in, why he was looking like he was trying to crawl out of the tent. Like you really don't even get answers for any of that. You just kind of find out he's a piece of shit, and then they're like, "Well, yep, okay."
And why now?
Like
he abused these multiple women, but why? Because it was the breakup, or like what happened? And then tell us about the code. Did we ever find out about like why he had the notebooks full of code?
So he was in tech. He did have a tech job.
But he doesn't bring an ID, he doesn't bring shit, but he brings his code?
I guess so. I don't know, dog.
I cannot. And I understand why you hated this so much because they romanticize the shit out of this story and you think that the character arc is going to be some big revolutionary moment and it's just like, well,
he was a war hero. Like, oh, god damn it.
She's excited.
Like, oh, he was a war hero. He saved a platoon of men. Like, just something a little.
No, he actually was just
a giant piece of shit.
Yeah, just an asshole and a piece of shit, and no one was looking for him because he was an asshole. So that's why no one came forward and said, oh yeah, that's him. That's why there was the missing persons, nothing. And they close out the episode with a handwritten song, custom song. Like, how do you say it?
I don't even know.
A tribute?
A tribute?
A song, okay? Written by one of the guys he met on the trail.
They spent the night together. I think that was maybe that's why though.
Okay.
Think about it.
Okay.
So they had a special night together.
No, they didn't. He didn't want to get too close.
How do you know?
Because the guy was
I'm
like,
just kidding.
do you want to keep in contact? And he's like, no. One night stand. And oh my God. Whatever fantasy you want to have, Brokeback Mountain. Look at this. Look at this technique.
Just a one and done. Just bye.
Oh, little trailhead. No pun intended. We gotta go, guys. So
we're losing it.
Anyways, they wrap up this episode with a nice tribute song written by one of his trail mates, and
you don't have answers.
The end. Honestly, I like this song a little bit. It's giving emo. It's giving what are those bands? You know them all.
Yeah, something corporate.
I don't know that.
Okay.
But the one, like, A Day to Remember, it's giving those. Like
Hawthorne Heights.
Thank you. That's the
red
one.
jumpsuit apparatus. I can go on for days.
That's why I passed it to you. This is your episode, babe. Like, this was all you.
I just hated this documentary. It just left me so unfulfilled.
What would you have liked to happen?
I don't know. I don't even know. Not do it.
Delete it?
I don't give a shit about this man. He was a giant piece of shit.
Well, what do you think the moral of the story is?
Exactly. What is the moral of the story?
What is it?
Don't be a piece of shit and you die on a trail.
No, obviously. Oh my fucking God. No, like, why do you think they put out this documentary?
I really don't know. I really don't, like, to show hikers are crazy? I don't know. Like, it's a cult?
Go deeper. Look inward, Meg.
Karma?
Maybe. I think they were really.
I really don't know, dude.
She's like, I don't fucking know, dog. Like, get this fucking shit out of here. I really think that they, like, wanted to highlight the sleuthing community and how harmful that can be, alongside of, like, how we judge people and how we, like, think that Ted Bundy is a charming, nice, handsome guy who wanted to help me change my tire. You know, like, how kind of anybody can be anything.
It's coming back from the Nick Carter shit last week where the fans were like, he could never. It's just so crazy to me that you could say that about somebody that you don't know, you don't have had any personal fucking interaction with ever in your life.
Right. And it's not even like a parasocial relationship because he's deceased. But it's like the whole plot of it all. Like, that people get involved and then they need justice and then they make up these whole stories in their head to, I don't know, man. It left me confused.
I know.
The line between the intriguing and the unsettling
is blurred.
It's fucking blurred. Like, I don't even know. You can pick next week's documentary then, because
I feel like I picked,
I did.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's not like I didn't like it.
You literally said I fucking hated that documentary, by the way, multiple times in those exact words. So go off.
The story just, I don't know. Like I said.
I mean, they weren't doing a GoFundMe for the guy. Like,
they did, though, to see who he was, which is the other crazy part.
No, I'm saying the documentary in a whole.
Yeah. That's the other crazy part to me, though. They raised, what the fuck, I was a frog for a second. They raised
the frog hat.
These fucking people raised $5,000 for a piece of shit to get his DNA to find out who he was.
But it wasn't
that to me is crazy.
Okay. But it wasn't, I'm just justifying because I am one of those people. It wasn't for him. It was like
for
almost
them.
For their own, like, we need to solve this shit.
Y'all feel better now?
They probably feel dumb.
Feel fucking stupid.
But hey, I mean, they accomplished their goal.
They did solve the case.
It just didn't turn out the way that a lot of them thought
we
it
like
would.
Solved things, you know?
We like finality. And on that, we gotta go. That's the final line of this episode because that's enough of that.
It's time.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of It's Giving Sus. We'll be back every single Monday. Unfortunately, there's so many Mondays. I'm just like, no, not today. And we're back. It doesn't matter. Rain or shine, hospital bed. We're here. Live, baby. If you are listening on Spotify, please come over to YouTube, hit subscribe, put on those notifications. It is free, and you get to see our beautiful faces and expressions.
They're pretty good.
Those say a lot, truly. When you don't hear anything over there on Spotify, just know we're making some faces.
We're fucking,
Yeah, you can, Context clues.
Yes.
Know what we're thinking. With that, until next time, stay curious and stay skeptical. Thanks for watching.
Bye.